Hello, good morning. In this video, we will discuss monthly magazine of the Atish Mathur sir, that is the What a Month. In this video, we will discuss and analyze the topics with regard to the science and technology and internal security. Let's go and analyze. Coming to the science and technology, the first article with regard to the NASA's space mission to the Venus. Uh, this Regarding these things, we can analyze what's the all importance of this mission and what are the planned missions and when they are planned. All these things we can see. The NASA recently announced two new robotic missions to the Venus. What are these two means? One is the Da Vinci and another one is the Veritas. These are the two new robotic missions announced to the Venus by the NASA. It is a part of NASA's Discovery program, and the mission aims to understand how the Venus have become a inferno-like world. Instead of having so many characteristics that is similar to our Earth, why it has become like that inhabitable world, and they expect that it is the one of the first habitable world in the solar system with an complete ocean and Earth-like climate. These all things they want to analyze by these missions. And coming to the missions, the first one is the Da Vinci and second one is the Veritas. They are planned to 2028 to 2030. In these years, they are planning to do these things. Da Vinci stands for the Deep Atmospheric Venus Investigation of Noble Gases, Chemistry and Imaging. And Veritas stands for Venus Emissivity, Radio Science, INSAR Topography and Spectroscopy. Generally, these two missions having two separate uh, requirements. The first one, Da Vinci, sent for the study of the composition of the Venus atmosphere, the first one, and how it evolved. And the second one is the determine whether the planet had an ocean or not. Second one is the for the ocean, that is the water resources. First one, atmosphere. Second one, with regard to the water resource. Third one is beam back high resolution images of the planet surface. That means sending the imaging to the uh, so-called NASA. The first one is the study of the atmosphere and evolving of the atmosphere. And second one is the evidence of the ocean, that is for water. Third one is the imaging by the resolution beam back mechanism. And coming to the Veritas, Veritas is a special mission. What's its functions mean? The first thing is the it will map the surface of the Venus from the orbit and delve into planet's geological history. By mapping the surface of the orbit, where are the volcanoes or hills or mountains are there, and what is the composition of that, all these things, it just generally analyze the geological history of the Venus. And second one is the confirm whether volcanoes and earthquakes are still happening in the Venus or not. This is somewhat geological activity it is testing. And second one is the determine the rock type and whether active volcanoes are releasing the water vapor or not. Generally classifying the rock type, thereby identifying the composition of the Venus land. This is the two missions planned for these purposes. And coming to the somewhat about the Venus, its surface temperature is as hot enough to melt the lead on the surface itself, as having 470 degrees centigrade on its surface. The pressure over 90 times that of the Earth, which is present in 1.6 kilometers at the depth of the ocean, similar to that pressure, it having that type of pressure. Coming to the cloud layer, the cloud generally composed of sulfuric acid and atmosphere nearly 97% of carbon dioxide. This is very important. The Venus atmosphere, major component is carbon dioxide. That is 97% of whole atmosphere is composed of carbon dioxide. And the temperature of the cloud near the cloud is 30 degrees centigrade. These are the things. We all know all about this, where the Venus is situated. All these things. Venus is the generally placed between the Mercury and the Earth in the second position in the solar system. Mm, these all the things. And apart from this, next article, that is the regarding the electric vehicles FAME 2 policy. Generally, FAME stands for, we all know, faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicle scheme. For the adoption of the faster adoption of the electric vehicles and development in the same sector. And recently, central government decided to increase the subsidy by 50% on the electric two-wheelers, that is the motor vehicles, all these things. Increasing the subsidy by 50% on two-wheelers. That's why it is in news. Uh, Coming to the mission, National Electric Mobility Mission Plan, that is the NEMMP. It was launched in 2013 in the Congress government itself. It aims to put 6 to 7 million e-vehicles on roads by 2020. This is the aim of it. And the government committed to achieve 30% of the e-mobility by 2030. By the year 2030, there will be 30% of the all vehicles in the country to be e-vehicles. This is the main target by 2030. The Automotive Mission Plan 2026, it estimates a creation of additional 65 million jobs in the automobile industry. Coming to the FAME2 scheme, generally it is overseen by the Ministry of Heavy Industries, and it comes under the central sector scheme, that is totally funded by the central government only. And coming to the other things, FAME is part of the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan, that is the Congress government's 2013 scheme, that is the NEMM plan. FAME is part of it, and it aims to encourage reliable, affordable, efficient electric vehicles that meet consumer performance and as well as price expectation. Cheaper rates, electric vehicles will be available in the market. It is the only aim of it. And under this NEMMP, there is an ambitious target to achieve 6 to 7 million sales of hybrid and electric vehicles uh, from from 2020 onwards, year on year increasing. By 2020, there will be an increased sale nearly 6 to 7 million sales. That is the target. And the two phases of this scheme are generally it FAME scheme generally in phase 1 and phase 2 has been going to be has been under the implementation. Phase 1 already completed. It has started in 2015 and completed in 31st March 2019. Now we are under the FAME 2 scheme of the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan, that is started in April 2019, and it will be completed by 31st March 2022. And coming to the what are the big boost to the electric cars under this FAME2 scheme is mm, first, it will encourage adoption of faster electric vehicles by offering upfront incentive on the purchase of the electric vehicles. Incentive on purchase of electric vehicles, thereby boosting the sales of the electric vehicles. And second thing is the to support 10 lakh e two wheelers and 5 lakh e three wheelers. That means two wheelers, motor type of vehicles, nearly 10 lakhs, and three wheelers like autos, all these things, nearly 5 lakhs, and four wheelers, nearly 55,000 vehicles, and 7,000 buses. It will support this type of all these things. And about 2,700 charging stations will be established in a grid format of 3 kilometer square, uh, 3 square kilometer, once in a 3 square kilometer, and an outlay of 10,000 crores over 3 years has been announced. This is all things with regard to the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan and FAME 2 adoption. And coming to the next article, that is the Deep Ocean Mission. Recently, Union Cabinet approved the Deep Ocean Mission. Uh, Generally, when we see what all about this Deep Ocean Mission, it's come the nodal implementation ministry is the Ministry of Earth Sciences, under a multi-institutional mission. It aims to explore deep ocean resources. Generally, what's the aim of this scheme is to explore the resources of the deep ocean, such as polymetallic nodules and hydrocarbons, all these things. Apart from this, develop deep sea technology. In order to deep sea mining, there will be a sustainable technology required for not damaging the ocean biodiversity and want to mining. Balancing these two things, there will be a need of clear-cut technology. This is the main aim of this technology, and it will support the blue economy initiatives of the government of India. This is the thing. And coming to the components of the deep ocean mission, the deep ocean mission consists of 6 components. The first one is the development of technology for the deep sea mining and different types of manned submersible. Submersible nothing but a type of vehicles to go and explore in the deep oceans. That's all. The first one is the deep sea mining technology and vehicles for the deep sea mining. And second one is the development of ocean climate change advisory services. Ocean climate change advisory services. For what means, for example, you are mining in the deep ocean, there is a chance of coming of tsunami or zones or tides, all these things. In order to project all these expectations, there is a need of the ocean climate change advisory services from the satellite system. That is the second component. And third one is the technology innovations for the exploration and conservation of the deep sea biodiversity. In order to mining, there is need for the conservation of the deep sea biodiversity. For that, a technological innovation, for example, some type of measures has been developed in order to protect the uh, artificial creation of the sea atolls for the storage of the so-called these polyps and all these things, generally for the coral reefs sustainability, that type of technological innovations. And third one is the deep ocean survey and exploration. Generally, you want to mine in the deep ocean, you want to identify the potential sites of the polymetallic nodules or hydrothermal sulfide mineralizations, all these things you want to identify. When you are mining and technology transfer to a area in the deep ocean where there is no mineral resources, then all your effort going to be wasted. That's why first you have to survey the ocean and what are the potential sites of the minerals and resources. Then you want to go that site. That is the plan. And energy and fresh water from the oceans. That means development of the hydroelectricity by using this or thermal energy by using this technology of the ocean deep sea mining. And second one is the freshwater uh, conversion from the ocean water by using desalination plants. We often see in news that Mauritius or Madagascar has been facing adverse drought situation. India is helping by supporting a desalination plant, all these things. This is the thing. And establishing advanced marine station for the ocean biology. For the ocean biology study, a marine station, advanced marine station will be set up for the study of the deep ocean resources and deep ocean biology and regarding engineering, all these things. This is the sixth component. That's all. Apart from this, You need not to remember anything. This just explanation given. That things are not enough for us. Only one thing, that is the offshore ocean thermal energy conversion. Generally, the hydroelectricity from the ocean can be converted by using this power technology of the offshore ocean thermal energy conversion. Generally, the water can be purified, saline water can be purified by using a desalination plant. We all know this. And apart from this, what are the important here? Nothing, nothing. Microbes, deep sea biodiversity, we all know this. And climate variables. And here is some what a technology of these vehicles, the manned submersible. These vehicles can carry up a minimum of 3 people or to a depth of 6,000 meters in the ocean. 3 people, a capacity of going to the 6,000 meters in the ocean by using some scientific sensors and tools. Only few countries have this capability of acquiring this technology. An integrated mining system will also be developed for the mining of the polymetallic nodules from 6,000 meters depth in the Central Ocean, Central Indian Ocean. This is the things with regard to the deep ocean mission. And coming to the fourth thing, that is the technology in the healthcare sector. How the technology in the healthcare sector can make a more efficient medical care sector in a sustainable way. What are the technologies we can involve in the healthcare? Is the first one is the blockchain technology. By involving the blockchain technology, we can address the interoperability challenges of the health information and technology which faces many adverse conditions. And also we also come to know the index of the history of the all medical data, medical records, and we develop some type of mobile applications and all these wearable sensors. And apart from this, nothing is important. And coming to the second thing is the big data analytics. Coming to the big data analytics, when you are dealing with a patient who is having different types of history of the past medical history, in such a way, you can notice and analyze different disease detection. That is the early disease detection. For example, you are observing he is having so and so, he is having so and so symptoms in the past, so and so things, taking so and so medicines in the past. That's why you can detect the disease in the early phase only. That is the use of the big data analytics. By using the different types of data, you can interpret the early detection of the disease by using artificial intelligence and internet of medical things. The internet of medical things is nothing but extension of the internet of things into the medical sector. Generally, it is defined as a connected infrastructure of the medical devices, software applications, and health system. Nothing but connecting the medical systems into the software applications. That's all. And coming to the next component, that is the medical autonomous system. Medical autonomous systems can improve the health delivery to a great extent, and their applications focus on supporting medical care delivery in dispersed and complex environment with futuristic technologies. By using different types of technology, you can have the medical autonomous system in order to encourage the healthcare delivery in a greater extent. That's all, nothing here. And cloud computing. By using the cloud computing, you can have the facilitation of collaborating with the different types of data exchanges between the doctors, departments, and even institutions and medical providers in order to encourage the best treatment. By you providing the cloud computing, you can store the data in the cloud computing of the medical histories, different types of departments, different types of institutions, different types of medical providers. Their data in a cloud computing helps us you give the best treatment, thereby knowing what are the different types of medications available in the market and all these things. And coming to the challenges involved in this internet of the medical things is standardization of the health data is the first challenge. In order to develop that big internet of things and artificial intelligence, and all these things, you need to standardize the health data. And organization silos will be developed in such a manner in order to uh, sustain all these things. And data security and data privacy is under threat. For example, you are dealing with some patients data of the medical history. It is so sensible that you can misuse the data of the patient. For example, that person is a highly qualified and having a high name and fame in the society. You can play with the data of such person. That is the risk here. And a high investment is needed for development of all this technology. This is the challenges involved here. This all about the science and technology. And other thing is the internet security and defense. The first one is the INS Sandayak. This ship has been uh, built by the INS in a situation where the country having a worst situation in order to facing regarding the ocean technology type of uh, armed forces. In such a situation, it has come a big boost to the Indian Navy. It has decommissioned after its service 40 years, serving after 40 years. That means recently it has been decommissioned. That means it has retired. INS Sandayak, this ship, and it is the first class of its indigenously designed and built. The first indigenously built INS, that is the Indian naval ship, is the INS Sandayak after 40 years. These are the things. And coming to the drone attacks, recently we are seeing all these things about the drone attacks, Pakistan based terror outfits, and all these things. The data has been under different things. Recently, our home minister and defense minister also talking about different data of the acquiring of the, that is indigenization of the defense tech, this so-called drone systems and anti-drone technology, all these things, it was in news. That's why it's better to avoid here and to read after the completion of the all updates. That's all for the day. Thank you. This is all about the part of the internal security and the science and technology of the month of the June.